Business Foundations for Mums, with me, Kate Butcher, is the podcast to listen to if you are a mum who is ready to launch your business, not sure where to start, or wanting to turn that sideline into something more serious. It will be full of practical tips, mindset advice, and inspirational and honest interviews with mums who are juggling business and motherhood, supporting mums in business to turn your dream into a reality. And welcome to the podcast today. Today, I am interviewing Stephanie Newman. Stephanie Newman, which do you prefer?
Yeah, Steph. Yep, Steph's fine. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Steph, I know through the school run more than anything. Our children are at school together. And I have seen over the years as she's launched her business and got it up and running. So it's really nice to now sit down and have a conversation and do an interview and find out a little bit more about what you do, Steph. So please, could I first of all ask you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about your business?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Steph. I'm from Buckinghamshire. I'm 36 and a mum to a beautiful little girl called Ava, who is 9 years old. So I'm actually a qualified beauty therapist by trade 18 years ago. And my business is called Facials by Stephanie. So I'm a skin therapist and I focus on skincare and specialise in giving skin treatments, and also work alongside people that suffer with skin conditions, and problem skin, so things like acne, rosacea, sensitive skin issues, skin barrier repair, and I also have people that come to me that kind of want to, work on things like aging, teenage skin, and just general skin care. So anything skin related, really, I kind of work with. I'm not medically trained, so I can't ever diagnose skin conditions. That's completely out of my remit, and that's kind of more dermatology and obviously medical, which is obviously completely different. But from a skin therapist point of view, and from my side of things, I can definitely help, clients sort of just take better care of their skin and look at ways in which I can introduce new products into their skincare routine. What if they don't have a skincare routine, or just when I have a lot of clients to me that don't have never really started with skincare, just don't know where to start, and I kind of see myself and my business as kind of almost like a back to basic skincare, which is quite unheard of, really. But in the world of skincare, it's so overwhelming. It's so confusing. There's so much out there, and there's a lot more advanced skin treatments available now, which is great. But if you don't even know the basics of your skin and where to start and how to look after it, and or have an understanding of your skin, then it's very easy to get caught up in that sort of hype and that that mass marketing and buying products that are just not suitable. And I mean, we're up against so many influencers now on Instagram that are being paid to promote and sell skincare products, and and they know nothing about your skin, and they don't have your skincare at heart. They don't care. But this is kind of what we're up against. So that's where I kind of come in and just sort of bring just a basic skincare back to good health again. And then obviously these advanced treatments have their place, definitely, but then I kind of sort of teach my clients almost to like I say, to care for their skin in a way that then allows them to once their skin barrier, I mean that's a whole another discussion
of its own.
That is a whole new podcast episode on its own. But I kind of have once their skin's back to health, then I can then say to them, your skin is, it's in good health, it's full of hydration, your sebum levels are right, you're not getting that dryness, that lipid dryness in the skin, and things like that can then allow clients to then go on and have these more advanced treatments. I mean, that's kind of where the point I want to get to eventually. Like, I do want to offer more advanced treatments, but at the moment, I don't do that. So yeah, that's kind of where my clients come to me for that, and then I can then sort of refer them on, or that they're quite happy to stick with me and just, follow their skin journey. And it does take a long time. It's, skin isn't, it's such a big, skin's it's a living organ. It's intuitive, and it's attached to the person, so that brings a lot of problems on in itself. So yeah, it is a long process. And I do, I have my I have my regular clients that sort of come to me for sort of their 4 to 6 weekly treatments. So yeah, so I kind of attract a vast array of people. So yeah, that's kind of what my business is about. So yeah, it's quite niche, I think. It's different.
And I mean, that's amazing. I've already learned quite a bit from just what you've said there, because I have to confess, I've never really known anything about my skin. My mum taught me, cleanse, tone and moisturize, and that's it when I was young. And I found a skincare brand that I quite liked, and I've stuck with it. And I don't know if it's right for my skin or not, or and actually I've a couple of recent conversations have got me thinking that, and I'm sure you can shed a bit more light on this, but your skin changes over time. So you potentially, just because a skincare regime has worked for you long term doesn't mean that it's going to continue as your skin gets older.
No, absolutely not. And our skin does change. It changes with age. It changes with even with the weather. And I kind of that's kind of what I definitely teach my clients, that your skin, and your skin can, like I say, because it is attached to us as a person. We do influence our skin and how our skin reacts to the environment and things like that. So and I have a lot of clients that kind of, and I think it's getting to know your clients on a personal level as well. Because I have a lot of clients that that they spend a lot of time outdoors. So it's kind of looking at how, what skincare can we incorporate to protect your skin, and it's kind of like almost like putting a winter coat on your skin to protect it while it's outside. And then, and again, like in the summer months as well, your skincare doesn't need to be, I always like to have my skincare quite light. And not a lot of heavy products. And I think again it does come back to this whole mass marketing again, of not just jumping into the latest trend, or and it's just not required. Like your skin's really, really clever in that it knows what it needs to do. It knows how it needs to function. It completely by itself. If you've got those basic things in place, and your skin's getting the nutrients and the ingredients that it requires, the ceramides in there, and that kind of things, and your skin will function accordingly to to how it needs to. And we do destroy our skin ourselves. We do so much to it. We strip it, and just put all these evasive, these actives on the skin. It's not always required at all. So it's just teaching my clients to completely strip back their skincare sometimes, and and just work on what the problem is at that particular time. And then once we've mastered that problem, great, then there's something else arises again, then we look at your skin again, and then we sort of treat it and target it accordingly. So and I think it's obviously you do need to have a basic skincare in place, like you definitely cleansing, but it does depend on what your skin type, and what we're dealing with is to what kind of I can recommend. So I always, it is fascinating, it is, and it's I'm constantly learning. It's, you can never stop learning with skin. So yeah, it is fascinating, and I just get so passionate about it, and I
can tell. I was literally, that was going to be my next thing. The thing I was going to say was that you talk about it with such passion. It's really lovely to hear.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and that's kind of why I set the business up, really, because when I qualified in beauty therapy, I didn't pursue my career in beauty therapy at all. I did something completely different, and went into social care and in various roles within that. And I did that for a good sort of 11 to 12 years. And sort of in that time, I then had my daughter, and things like that. But and I was very focused. All my jobs was kind of focused around her, to fit around her and her needs. But I always knew in the back of my mind, I kind of always knew that wanted to get back into beauty therapy. You know, it's something that I loved. It was, you know, I didn't just want to be, you know, I didn't just want to have the job role of being a mum. You know, I wanted to pursue something that I did enjoy. And you know, skincare was that. You know, I was more drawn to the facials and, you know, facial electricals and that kind of thing. You know, so yeah, that's kind of what led me into getting back into this again. And like I say, from skincare's always been something I've been interested in, but I knew that, you know, I had an audience of people that didn't that needed help with skincare, just like I did. You know, I didn't really have a clue where to start with my skincare, but it's only just from researching. And I think when you've got a passion in something, you know, you come across these, you know, there's good platforms and good other skin educators out there. And, you know, and I was like, actually, you know, I really resonate with what they're saying. And, you know, I love their work. And you just then, it sort of leads you down that sort of path. And, you know, and I've learned so much from that side of things. And yeah, it's so that's kind of why I started at what I did. And, you know, like I say, skincare was definitely my area. And I'm still, you know, still definitely building up on that. You know, but it's kind of, I sometimes feel that, you know, it's the part of the business, this setting up the business was definitely what I found most difficult, you know, and kind of knowing that, you know, what my next steps were. And, you know, I kind of knew that I needed to being out of beauty for so long and not actually having taken the career in beauty therapy, you know, I kind of felt, well, you know, what do I need to do? Like, and I knew I had to get the basics right again. I knew I had to go back to, you know, refreshing my training. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. I sort of looked around and researched where I could go to restudy again. And I come across Champneys just purely because, not because they were Champneys, but because they were offering a course that was more sort of, you know, weekends. And it was for sort of older, mature sort of client, you know, students. So I went to that, and yeah, that kind of gave me my confidence back. And I kind of just took a year out and restudied that, and, you know, did that whole side of thing again. And yeah, so I qualified from that, got my certificate. Then I was like, right, what now? Like, where do I go from here? Like, I've got this certificate, you know, I've refreshed my skills. What do I do now?
Yeah.
You know, and that was a big stumbling block for me then. And, you know, I remember sitting down with a bit of paper and a pen and thinking, right, what do I need? What equipment, what tools do I need to set myself up? You know, and I just got to a point where I did get a bit stuck, and I was like, you know, do I want to work in a salon environment? You know, and learn from their expertise. But that was quite difficult to get into, because there isn't really, I mean, there is now, there's definitely more of that now, but at the time when I was looking, there wasn't really skin clinics. You know, it wasn't really a thing. It was just within a beauty salon. And, you know, I didn't want to go and do nails and waxing, and, you know, I just wanted to focus on skin. So trying to find somewhere that would take me on, being completely new again, I suppose, was really, really difficult. You know, they weren't really interested. You know, they wanted me to come from experience, and which I completely understand. So I knew that from that point of view, that obviously wasn't going to be an option for me either. So, you know, I knew that I had to set something up on my own. And kind of do it from home, and, you know, I had the room to do that. So that's kind of where I sort of started, really. So yeah, it's been a bit of a journey, definitely.
It certainly has. I totally relate to what you say there about how you sort of set up and then you go, what now? And I did exactly the same thing with my previous business. I had a hospitality consultancy, and I just remember exactly that. We set up the website, we set up the social media channels, and then we went, and how do the customers come to us?
Yeah,
are people just going to find us online, or what do we do? How do we go about this? And I think we just kind of both myself and my business partner at the time, I think we just kind of froze for about 4 months, just not knowing what to do or where to go. And I was quite lucky at that point. I stumbled across a business course, and that really sort of pushed me in the right direction. But yeah, sometimes it can be just that overwhelm of everything you need to do to get going is so overwhelming that you just don't know where to start sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was quite lucky that I had obviously met people on the course that had already set up or had treatment rooms already set up from home.
Mm.
So that was really, really helpful, you know, because I sort of bounced off them really, and so they sort of gave me ideas, and, you know, you need this, you need that. So yeah, I started with the very basics, and then I just remember, you know, having you know, doing it, you know, obviously started off from home, and I just had family and friends coming around, and I was sort of practicing my treatments on them, and engaging my confidence. And that did take me a long time, you know, and I didn't feel ready then to know how to then step out of that. And I was doing that for ages, just the constant practicing, which isn't a bad thing, because you do need to practice those skills, obviously, before then you have paying clients coming to you. But yeah, I did that for a very long time, and that's the only thing they don't teach you at college. You know, they don't teach you how to run a business or how to set up freelance and do it, you know. And so yeah, I've built up my business from the ground, really. You know, I built it up from nothing. So I do look back at that, and I do feel, you know, incredibly proud that I've got from there to then here. You know, and it just kind of shows really that you know, you don't really need to feel that you have to have everything worked out right from the beginning.
Yes, exactly.
You
Yeah.
know,
and I think sometimes a lot of people worry when they start a business, they do need to have it all worked out. But so much of business is just taking the next leap and doing something different and trying something new. And absolutely.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, and I've definitely, you know, discovered that one myself. You know, I'm still, you know, started, you know, I'm, like I said, I'm still building from a very, you know, I wouldn't say, I mean, I have advanced, of course I have. And like I say, especially with skin, like you do constantly have to advance your treatments with it, you know, and the building that skill and knowledge, you know, but I feel that's kind of, I guess, what's made me a little bit different, and you know, a bit more appealing, because I mean, there's so many of, you know, these sorts of skin therapists, and you know, these sort of environments popping up now, you know, and their skin therapist is getting quite a known, you know, industry now. You know, and you do have to be different, and that kind of always worried me in the beginning, because I was kind of like, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't offer all these advanced treatments, I don't offer this, I don't offer that. But actually I think it's amazing that I do what I do now, because it just goes to show that you don't need to have all these resources available right at the start. You know, it's good just to work with what you have now, and get good at what you have now. You know, and work with what you've got, because obviously, you know, that's, you know, you need to build up that trust and that rapport with clients. You know, and you know, and I feel I have that already. You know, I feel my clients come to me because, you know, they trust me. They you know, they can see where I'm going with my business. They know I've got them and their skin, you know, that sort of my top priority. You know, I'm not just there to just, you know, make money and you know, have the next client. You know, I'm you know, I'm there, and I'm you know, I'm working with my clients. It's a journey. You know, and that's definitely kind of where I'm going with my business. So yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see where it takes me. And you know, I have a goal in mind. I kind of think I know where I'm going with it. Yeah, it's interesting to see how, you know, just what comes along the way, I think.
Yeah, and absolutely, that exactly what you were talking about there, about how you sort of look after your clients and you take them on that journey, and it's a personalized experience for them. That's very much how, I suppose, that's your reputation locally. That's how I've always seen how, you know, what you do, because you've got that good reputation locally amongst certainly the other mums that I know locally, and some of the ladies I know locally who use you. You do have that positive reputation for being, you know, for really caring about what you do and having that passion for skin. Exactly. So yeah, that's fantastic.
100%. You know, and yeah, that's definitely what you need, I think, to make it in this kind of industry. You definitely need to, you know, have that client trust. You know, and I just, you know, I'd like to think that when I do advance in my treatments, that those clients that I've got will follow me through with that. You know, definitely. So you know, I'm not worried. You know, I'm kind of, you know, I know the direction I'm going. It's slow, and I think if you can get yourself in that right mindset, and feel confident in knowing kind of where your business is going to go, and what, you know, and have the goals in place, and I know what I'm working towards, then that's all that matters, really. That's all you need to have, I think.
Absolutely.
That's a mindset.
And in terms of the work that you do with your clients as well, and that sort of personalized approach that you take, do you work with clients as well on looking at their sort of lifestyle things that they can change? Because of course, skincare is impacted by what goes into your body and your lifestyle, and how much you exercise, and the food and the alcohol and all that kind of stuff that you put into your body, that feeds into your skin very much, doesn't it? So do you offer clients advice around that kind of stuff as well?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And like I say, it all comes down to, how intuitive the skin is. So yeah, I do. I do advise. I say advise. Yeah, I do definitely take that into consideration when I'm treating my clients. We do look at a holistic approach with their skincare. What they eat, their diet, exercise, things like that. And I kind of always, almost say to my clients as well when they come into me, it's almost like, I can only work with so much. And I made a point of saying, there's 730 hours in a month, and I only see you for one.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, see, that's a statistic I never knew.
Yeah,
that's a lot of hours.
Yeah, exactly. And they come to me for an hour and a half treatment, and then that's it. They go. So it's kind of like, I can only do so much with you. This is about you. You need to put the work in. When it comes to your skin. I can advise you, I can help you, but this is down to you. And we're a partnership, we're a teamwork. And if you're gonna then go home and undo all the work that we've done together, or what we've discussed, you're not going to commit to it, or then you're not going to get to, you're not going to progress on your journey with your skin as much as you want to. So yeah, I do definitely take that into consideration when working with my clients. Just factoring everything, and I think it's setting expectations for clients as well. Definitely is a big factor. And it's getting them to understand. They've got clients that come in with problem skin, but yet they're in quite a stressful environment, or there's things going on that's causing them anxiety and stress. That's going to, of course, it's going to affect everything, isn't it? It's going to affect how they eat, how they sleep, how they function. So of course that's going to affect their skin 100%. So it's it's setting expectations that you can't come to me and think I'm going to work miracles on you if if your lifestyle and things like this in your life are happening behind the scenes. Like, we need to work together and figure it all out. So yeah, it's busy.
Amazing. And right near the beginning, when we started talking, you touched on very briefly about the kind of different products that are out there, and not really knowing what's in those products. So is there a particular ethos that you have, or behind the products that you use or you recommend with your clients?
Yeah, so again, I mean, I'm not from a cosmetic background. I don't have an in-depth knowledge into skincare ingredients at all. But I know that there is a lot of rubbish out there. And just stuff that, again, it's quite a hype, and it's buzzwords, and and again,
known brands.
Yeah. And and a lot of and it does come down to marketing. Again, and I think it is just getting your clients to understand what it is that their skin needs, which is why a skin therapist is so important and why they're needed. I mean, I work with a brand, and they're not even a well-known brand at all, but they are absolutely incredible, and they do work with clients holistically. So it's not just what we put on our skin. They do sort of teach me everything. But their kind of ethos is, we don't, our products are completely paraben free. They don't contain emulsifiers, fragrances, perfumes, and there is a big difference between sort of pharmaceutical medical grade skincare products as opposed to over the counter skincare, in the local high street. And it's, I do stumble across that a lot, and I do get clients that come to me that are so used to using a certain product, and they've used it for me, and again, it does come down to cost again. But it's just, I think it's just making your clients understand the difference and why more advanced medical grade skincare is required. You know, it's just, again, it's just how it's made, you know, their delivery system, and sort of how you know, how deep it can penetrate into the skin, and what, you know, it can change the skin at a cellular level. Like, it just you know, it just makes a massive difference. But again, I'm awful at you know, I don't want to come across as if I'm selling. You know, I don't want to sell my, you know, I want my clients to invest in me, and in turn, you know, I will give them you know, I know that what I, you know, the products that I use on their skin is going to completely transform their skin and help that. I know that. I'm so confident in that. And as a skin therapist, you know, the brand that you use is so important. You really got to believe in that brand. You know, and I 100% do. You know, I believe in the brand that I use, and I know that it's going to transform and help people's skin. But you know, but they need educating on that. You know, they need to know, and that comes from me. You know, they need to trust me, and then, you know, I can then go on and recommend products to them. But, and again, you know, I do take things like cost and that into consideration, and you know, I'd never, you know, sort of pressure anyone into buying skincare products. I just sort of guide them in the right direction as to what they need. And you know, I work within, you know, the skincare that I use, you know, I can work within clients' budgets as well, and things like that. And it's completely bespoke as well. It's bespokely made skincare, which is just incredible. You know, it's not off the shelf skincare. It's bespokely made. I make it on the day of treatment, which is just incredible. Yeah. So I have my client in front of me, you know, analyze their skin, look at their skin, we talk, and then I've just got a vast array of ingredients sat on the shelf, and I can just pick out. They can watch me do it. I talk them through what ingredients are going into their skin. And then at the end, if they're interested in purchasing the products, then, you know, I can then write them up a skincare plan, you know, and then they can, you know, take trial sizes away. So yeah, it's amazing. It's so good.
It sounds it.
Yes.
Gosh. I mean, skin is something, like I said, I've always just followed the same routine and not really paid much attention, but you're inspiring me to get on the case and book in and get my skin sorted out, definitely, and find out whether what I'm doing for my skin is the right thing or not.
So, you know, you don't, and this is the thing, like, you don't need a lot of products. You really don't. You know, and it can be as simple as just changing your cleanser. Simple as that. You know, I like to sort of, again, educate my clients that start off slow. Start slow and just change something in your skincare routine that's not working, or that's not right. Change it, and then we can go and look on adding something in. So that's definitely where that's what I'm about. You know, so yeah, I love it, because obviously I just learned so much. I learned so much from different skin types. And like I say, it's just, you're forever learning. It's, you know, no two skins are ever the same. You know, I get so many different clients. I mean, obviously, you know, you do see the sort of same sort of issues and problems. But yeah, it's I like that. And I think right at the beginning, it kind of did. I did worry about what people kind of thought of me. Again, you know, and I was always sort of told this, that you know, not to worry about what people think of you, because I didn't want to come across as too arrogant or too you know, boastful in the content and the posts that I was creating on Instagram. But in the end, I thought, you know what, actually, I'm not being like that at all. You know, I want my clients to know, you know, that I'm well educated and I'm knowledgeable about skin. I want them to see that I'm progressing in my career, and you know, I'm upskilling myself. You know, I want my clients to see that. But yeah, I remember at the beginning that was quite a big thing for me. I was, you know, really worried about what clients thought, you know, gosh, you know. But yeah,
bit of imposter syndrome going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%, definitely. But no, it's, you know, like I say, I've learned so much, you know, and it's just from, you know, working with this particular brand. I mean, their education is just incredible, and that's kind of what I feel that I'm investing my time in. I'm investing my time in upskilling myself first before I progress on to other advanced treatments. And, you know, because I do get asked that a lot. You know, I do get asked if I, you know, I do like microneedling and, you know, sort of all these other advanced sort of skin treatments out there. But no, I at the moment I'm fine where I am. There's so much I can still do and teach people. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with it at the moment.
And actually, I love the way that you introduced yourself at the beginning. You said you're a real sort of back to basics
Yes.
With people, and I mean that's exactly what people like me need. I need back to basics because I've never learned this stuff, and so many of us just don't learn about how to look after our skin, and we just do the same. Well, I mean, I say so many of us. I'm speaking from personal experience, but I'm sure there are other people who are out there like me who just don't know if they're looking after their skin in the right way. And that back to basics approach is really quite reassuring, because I think if what you were doing was very advanced, I probably wouldn't even think twice about using you, because it would be, that's way beyond me. That's far too complex.
Yeah, it's that overwhelming, isn't it? That overwhelming feeling. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's what I didn't want, because even even for me, like, obviously I'm a bit more, I'm more knowledgeable in my skincare now than I ever was, but even for me, like, I look at these treatments and I just think, God, I'd never have that on my face.
Absolutely.
So, and I can see, and even with my own skin, I mean, I've never really had problem skin as such, but obviously I am getting older now, and I do need to think about, obviously, aging skin and things like that. But even for me now, like, I can see just how taking simple approach to how I look after, how much it's changed. Just, and I've not even really done anything special to it. I've just cared for it, and I've just made sure I've used the right ingredients, the right products, and making, having a good skincare routine in place, how I, cleansing in the morning and wearing my SPF, and I think it's getting to understand your skin is the most important thing. Once you understand it and know why it's doing, why I get these breakouts certain times of the month, of course, that sort of thing, like, then once you've got that knowledge, you weld your oyster, really, when it comes to skin. You've nailed it on the head, really. And that's definitely what I try and empower my clients, and again, to obviously make them also realize that, even if they do have a problem skin or a condition, it's completely normal. Like, that doesn't define who you are. It's perfectly, this is skin. Skin's real. It's, especially on Instagram at the moment, I mean, everything's so filtered and fake, isn't it? And and it's just, that's just not real. This is our skin. It's, it has open pores, and it has, breakouts and scarring and lines and wrinkles, and this is all completely normal. It doesn't make it a problem or an issue. Obviously to some people it does, but
absolutely. Yeah. Oh, fantastic. And actually, one final question about skin before we move on to the rest of the interview. We've both got children of a similar age, and at what sort of stage should girls, or boys, I suppose, be starting to think about a skincare routine? I mean, I've started to notice changes in my daughter's skin now that she's 9. And actually just had the conversation with her this week about, we need to start thinking about a skincare routine for you. But part of me is thinking, she's far too young at the age of 9. I'm sure I didn't start a skincare routine till I was about 15, but I'm definitely noticing those changes in her skin. What sort of age is it worth starting to think about?
You know what, actually, funny you should say this, from birth, actually.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. You can never, I would say from birth, there's so much you can do to look after your skin. I mean, even now, so again, I don't want to waffle on too much about it, obviously, because like I say, you need a whole new separate podcast about skin. But even
you should start one.
I know. But yeah, so I mean, I'll answer your question of obviously being, having a child same age. So even Ava now, I mean, obviously Ava is watching me and observing how I look after my skincare, and I can see now that she is obviously, taking advantage. She's implementing that herself. She's cleansing her skin, and again, because the products I use are just amazing, and I use them on myself as well as my clients. Like, I know they're perfectly safe to use on her, so I'll give her a little cleanse. She's got a little cleanser bottle, and she cleanses in the mornings and things like that, and she even does a little massage on her face and things like that, so which is really sweet. But yeah, she does do those sorts of things. But I would say it's never too late to start with skincare. And I say from birth, because obviously from a young baby, obviously, there's so many things, like, we're cleansing our baby in the bath, we're putting on creams, nappy creams, and again, the skin is so delicate you know, from from a baby. So it's just, again, it's just knowing kind of what, you know, what looking at what you are putting on young skins, things like that. And like I say, even when you're, you know, when you're bathing a young baby, obviously every time, you know, your skin's exposed to water, you know, it does, I mean, we have this natural skin microbiome system. It has its own ecosystem on the skin, and that's obviously our first line of defense, and that obviously protects us from the outside world, from the elements, from pollution, germs, everything like that. And it's all about, and this is why I think I mentioned right at the beginning about skin barrier repair, because obviously over the years with long-term, you know, the incorrect use of products, not protecting our skin from the sun and things like that, it does contribute to having this impaired skin barrier. So you can protect that from a very, very young age, and then obviously as they progress, and then obviously become, I mean, obviously, you know, I know obviously Ava being 9, I know she's not hit puberty yet, but obviously, you know, once children do start hitting puberty, their skin's going to change again. You know, their hormones fluctuate. You know, they are going to produce more oil. You know, they are going to get you know, these outbreaks again, which is completely normal. You know, that's what our skin is it's doing. It's, you know, it's designed to do that sort of thing. So I think, but if you can then have a really good skincare from a young age, from a teenager, just have that concept of caring and looking after your skin, that will definitely follow you through into adulthood. So definitely. So no, there's you can never start too young.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well, that's certainly given me some ideas going forward. That's brilliant. And you talked a little bit about how you progressed and you went into the world of work and social care and then decided to come back to your skincare business. What was that what was the deciding factor for you? What was the thing that made you take that leap?
I think it was just more that, you know, I mean, it kind of run its course in, you know, as much as I loved working in the job that I was doing and, you know, the various roles I had in social care, it just was never, I just knew that my passion lied somewhere completely different. And I think I've always been this sort of, I'm not saying I'm quite an indecisive person, I can be at times, but, you know, I just knew that it just wasn't I just didn't get that excitement with it, you know. And I think, you know, we spend a lot of our time working, don't we? You know, a lot of, you know, time goes into it. We spent obviously working and things like that. But, you know, this was definitely, I just had that feeling that this was, you know, something that I really was passionate about and what I wanted to do. And then I think obviously, again, with Ava being at such a young age, like I said, obviously my kind of work revolved around her. And then, you know, she got to a point where, you know, she got older, and I was like, right, you know, this is my time to kind of move careers, and try and progress into something different. And like I say, I knew it had to be something to do with skin. You know, I knew that. Obviously, it did put me off, and I did have those barriers in place of like, well, you know, it's not going to be, you know, it's not a secure job. You know, it's, you know, it was all these barriers that kind of stopped me from doing it. And I think you just got to be your own sort of superhero, really, and do yourself on, and, you know, be big yourself up, really, and just sort of push yourself to drive yourself to do something completely different. And I'm so glad I did, you know, I really am. And it just goes to show that, you know, putting barriers in your way and, you know, not pushing yourself to what you want to do, you know, I think I would have regretted it if I just stayed and just done what I wanted to do just because it paid the bills, or, you know, it's just, yeah, I was stuck, I think.
Yeah. And I think we can be our own worst enemies sometimes, can't we, with sort of holding ourselves back and making excuses about why now's not the right time. And there will always be a reason why now is not the right time. And like you say, you've just really got to just take that leap. And I like that, be your own superhero. And that's a really good one.
I've definitely is, you know, that's definitely something I've learned. I mean, no one else is going to do it for you. You know, you do have to kind of, you know, big yourself up and really push yourself, show up for yourself every day, you know. And you know, it's quite you know, especially when you're, you know, working on your own, you know, I don't have anyone to bounce off. I am completely, you know, on my own doing this. But when you've got that passion and that drive in you, you know, and I can see, you know, what I've built up so far is resonating with a lot of people, and, you know, I am getting interest, I am getting people wanting to book in with me. I think that then gives me enough motivation that I need to push through and be like, you know, this is this is good. Like, you know, I've you know, I can work with this, and, you know, I can build it into something amazing. You know, I can definitely do that. And obviously, again, you know, I've built kind of you know, you know, I've met people through my work, and I built a platform of, you know, other skin therapists that I've met, and, you know, that I've engaged with, you know, during my time. You know, and I kind of we kind of built up a little community, really. And, you know, I've got the, you know, the brand that I work with as well, like that, you know, we have sort of online meetings and sessions together, and I don't feel as lonely now. You know, I do feel that I've definitely got that support and that, you know, that I need, you know. And don't get me wrong, from a business side of view, I still haven't got everything worked out. Of course I haven't, you know, I'm still learning that. But I guess that's what makes it exciting, doesn't it, when you're in business? And, you know, and I've learned so much, you know, that I've learned so far. And, you know, of setting goals, and what I want to achieve in my business, how do I get there, you know, what tools I've got in place to help me. And yeah, so it keeps me busy, it's challenging, which is, you know, I like being busy.
Fantastic. That sounds amazing. And what would you say the best bit of advice is that you have been given since you started your business?
I would definitely say mine is, like I said, I think I've probably touched on a couple of points already, but just to not feel like you have to have everything worked out. Definitely. And then I've definitely seen that through my process. And like I said, you know, I built myself up from the ground. You know, I've remember sitting down with a bit of pen and a bit of paper and writing down what I needed to do, what equipment I needed, you know, and you know, I've had to outsource, you know, that myself and research myself. But, you know, never let that stop you from progressing, and never let that be a barrier. Definitely not. And like I said, definitely, you know, be your own supporter, show up for yourself, you know, make yourself appealing. Definitely. You know, gauge your clients, and, you know, kind of know what, you know, what audience you're working with, and also knowing, again, what direction you're going in, I think, with your business. You know, I still see myself as quite a small fish, really. But again, I know where I want to head to, and I know where I want to get to, you know, and like I say, I'm taking small steps, but I know I'm in the right direction. And then again, I'd probably say the best bit of advice I've been giving is to probably stay focused on the small things. Again, not to feel like you have to have everything. You know, like there was one point where I felt like I needed to go on this training and that training. I needed to offer this service and that service to my clients. And that is definitely not the case at all. That's such a myth. You know, just stay focused on what you've got now and what you can work with. Get really good at what you've got now. Be really good at that particular, you know, and again, that's why I specialize in what I do, you know, because I've spent that time, you know, getting as best as I can in what I know, and that's enough, really. That's kind of, you know, that's, like I said, that's giving me the confidence and that knowledge, you know, that I needed to, you know, to know that I'm okay, and it works for me. So yeah, I'll definitely say that's, you know, that's definitely the best bit of advice I've kind of been given.
Fabulous, thank you. Do you have any particular business tools that you really like using, that have been really useful to you, really valuable?
Yes. So again, right at the beginning of when I started off my business, I mean, I spent ages researching different tools and apps and this, that, and the other. And again, I mean, I remember setting up a little, you know, where you can have a little albums on your phone, can't you? And there it was full of like apps, this app and that app. And I was getting myself so overwhelmed with what it is I actually need. But I think as I've progressed in my business, and I you know, I take my own pictures and things like that, I've come to know what tools work best for me. So I've kind of gone through my phone, I've deleted all the stuff that I don't even need anymore. But some really good ones that I use is definitely Canva. You know, I pretty much use that for all my written posts and content. And I kind of paid for the more advanced version, because obviously you can do a lot more with it. I can add videos into it, make them interactive and things like that. So that's definitely Canva. I use iMovie. I do like to film my treatments, and then I'll go back in and edit them on iMovie, which again is a flipping nightmare, because you know, it's quite difficult to work out. But and I do spend a long time, more than I should, on iMovie editing. I still haven't quite got to grips with it, but I was actually recently introduced to an app called GoPro Quick.
Okay. And I know about GoPro, but GoPro Quick I haven't come across.
It's been an absolute godsend, because kind of what it does is it allows you to upload a video and you kind of choose, you know, the template of that video, and it kind of does it for you. You can choose your own music to it, but it does it for you. So
Yeah.
you know, it makes it quite quirky and interactive, and yeah, you can edit it in there as well. But that's helped me a lot. Like I think I did a video recently on it. I went to a beauty, a skin aesthetic show a couple of weeks ago in London, and I took a load of pictures, obviously, while I was there, and videos and things. And I knew I wanted to put it into a video to show on my Instagram page and my social media. And I just thought to myself, for me to sit for hours and go through that on iMovie, I'm going to lose the plot. So I'd been introduced to this quick app and I used it, and it was amazing. It was really, really good. So I absolutely really love that. So I'd definitely recommend that.
I'm going to have to try that, because I use iMovie quite a lot,
Right.
not only for my own stuff, but also for the work that I do with clients. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I don't find iMovie to be the most intuitive app out there, but I do. I mean, I do end up spending quite a lot of time having, you know, on Google looking for YouTube tutorials on how to do certain little things that need doing. So yeah, that's definitely one I'm going to have to try. Add that to my list.
Kind of trying what else I use. Another good tool is Split Story. So
I've heard of that. I've not used it.
Yeah, so I mean, because I need to add more content onto my page. That's another issue that I'm trying to deal with.
Yeah.
But, getting better at doing that. But with Split Story, so if I'm uploading a discussion, if I'm talking about, say, a product, for an instance, you know, you can waffle on for quite a long time. And I've done it before where I've just uploaded it straight to Instagram on my stories, and it's cut things out, it's cut me out, it's, you know, it doesn't flow very well. Whereas Split Story, you can then upload it onto that and it will cut it down into 15-second segments for you.
Oh, fabulous. I'm going to need to introduce that one to my husband, because he gets really frustrated with videos that are too long and having to cut them up on Instagram. So yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is definitely a good one. Yeah, Split Story. What kind of thing? I think that's about it, really. Oh, is it pick frame? Yeah, pick frame. So I like to do before and afters.
Okay, yeah. Yes.
That's a good one. It allows me to do sort of before and after pictures, sort of, you know, so that you can clearly see, and then I just edit on there. So I use that. And again, I think just in general, when it comes to organizing the content on my page, I kind of look at Pinterest a lot, kind of look at how other therapists, or I just type in, you know, skin facials and things, and it will kind of bring up a whole load of images of how people take their photos of skin. And you know, if I'm doing quite a staged photo of someone with a mask on or an enzyme on or something like that, then it's quite nice to have it looks a bit more professional. So I kind of go to there for kind of inspiration and ideas. And again, you know, I look at other skin therapists. I look at their sort of platforms, their Instagram pages, and I kind of look to see what they're doing, and you know, get inspiration from them as well. So there is a lot out there, but again, it's just try not to be too overwhelmed with it, and just, you know, again, because you can just spend hours just working these apps out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and just take, and you know, you haven't got all this time, and I would absolutely love for someone to just. I'd love for someone to come and do my editing for me. I would actually like that. I like that. I would love to just send somebody a video and be like, right, here's the video. Please can you edit it and upload it? And that would just be amazing for me. So I think, again, you know, that's another business goal for me, is to eventually have someone kind of help me with that. Because and I've definitely found that I'm very good at putting written posts out on my Instagram page. But they're not the ones that I find get the most engagement. It is videos. People love to see a facial video and a treatment that I'm doing on clients. They love to see that.
The behind the scenes stuff is what tends to get the most engagement always, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, and I'd love to put up, and I've got loads of videos I could put up, but it's just finding the time. But I do need to get better with it, because that also gets my interest. That gets clients, you know, it gets potential clients interested as well when they see that, when they see the work and see what sort of treatment they're coming in for. That definitely does engage people. And so I do definitely need to make a point of, you know, having that be a bit more of a priority, is you know, having them sort of videos a bit more on there, and reels and that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm definitely, that's definitely a weakness of mine. I'm not that great at doing that, and scheduling posts as well. Like that's definitely something I need to practice on a bit more as well. So we'll get there with it. I know it's something I need to work on, so I need to get that right and do it.
It sounds like you've got a really good idea of exactly what it is that you want to do to get you to the next level and to get you where you need to be, which is great.
Yeah,
fantastic. Thank you. And finally, do you have a favorite book recommendation for other mums in business?
To be honest, I kind of spend my time more listening to podcasts on skin or reading books on skin.
Fantastic.
But I do know that there are books out there that I can definitely be investing my time in. But there was one that I did read. I didn't even finish it, but it still sort of sat on my bedside table. It's called The Miracle Morning.
Yes. I've read that one. Hal Elrod. Yeah. Elrod. Hal Elrod.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So and you know the how to transform 6 habits to transform your morning before 8 a.m. or something like that it was called, wasn't it? And absolutely, I like I say, I've started to read it but I haven't finished it, but I think that it's so important to have a really good morning routine when you're running a business. I do like to try it. Well, I have been good, obviously I have my moments, but I have been good at getting myself up early in the morning, sometimes before even Ava wakes up, just so I can gather my thoughts, what my intentions are for the day, what my goals are, and just have that ready. And so I know then how my day is going to plan out. So that's definitely a good takeaway that I've took from that, from reading that book.
It is a great book. And in fact, it was that book that got me into 5 a.m. starts, and I now can't sleep much beyond 5:10, or very rarely. And if I really need it, I do. But it's a fantastic book. And I don't follow the routine that he recommends in there. I started off following it, and then I've just slowly adapted it to my own routine, which which actually changes with the seasons as well. But it's a really good book to sort of get you motivated, and like you say, just to get a morning routine in place. And it sets you up it just sets you up for the day, doesn't it? Like you just feel so good. And there is so much you can achieve in the morning you don't realize, but then I suppose it has a knock-on effect as you've got to make sure you get a good sleep the night before. That was the hardest thing for me in getting into the habit of getting up early, was getting to bed early. That was the thing I found the hardest, especially coming from the background that I do and that my husband is still in, working in hospitality, where quite often you're not finishing work until 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and then you need time to wind down and maybe even have some food at that time. And so I was very much in the habit of late nights, when we used to run a pub, my husband and I, and we would often finish work at 1, 2, 3 a.m. sometimes. And so it just became very habitual that we would have late nights and late mornings. And so turning that around was a real challenge. But now I love my early nights and my early mornings, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
No, that's it, exactly. Like they say, isn't it? Like, it takes a set number of days for something to form a habit. I think I've heard that somewhere.
Yeah, there's different theories. 66 days is one that I've heard quite a few times, and I've heard other people saying it takes about 3 weeks. So it depends on which philosophy you follow, but consistency one way or another is the key, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I think and again, from a business side of you, and being a mum and having a business, like things do need to be planned. Need to be planned in your diary. I kind of feel that, especially, of course, I'm very aware that I need to, spend my time with Ava, and you get that mum guilt, of course you do, but again, someone told me, actually, this is going back to the business advice just quickly, someone did say to me that, the first 2 years in business, it is going to consume your life, and it is all you do, but it kind of has to be like that in a way. So that kind of stopped me from feeling that guilt so much that, perhaps my time was spent more on my business than, really sort of engaging. But I'm aware of it. And obviously, I will sound stupid, but I will plan out my time in my diary, and I will be like, right, I'm going to take Ava. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take Ava out. We're going to go for, we're going to go and grab a drink somewhere, a coffee and a cake somewhere. And, we'll just have that one-to-one time. So I am quite conscious of making sure that I do make that happen. Otherwise I could just, there's so much I can be doing. And I do, I you know, and I again stay focused, you know, not, you know, complete a task, then move on to the next one. Whereas sometimes, and it's again, that's something I need to still practice, but I'd have things going on in my head and I kind of like rush from one to the other and I don't complete one thing first, and then it just becomes so overwhelming, and that's when it can become a problem.
Absolutely.
You just have a very, you know, keep focused and just have your intention set out, tick it off as you go along, and then move on to the next, and you'll slowly get to where you want to be and build up what you want. And you know, I've definitely seen that already, that it does work, you know. But yeah, setting that time in the morning to be able to achieve that is good. I just need to sometimes get to bed a little bit earlier, because sometimes I'll lay in bed and do work, and you just have to know when to switch off as well, don't you? You have to. You do, otherwise.
Absolutely. Last night I was networking and I didn't get home till nearly 11 o'clock, which is like way past the time I'm normally in bed. But then it was this morning, it was, you know, got to get up and get on, and it was a bit feeling a bit bleary-eyed first thing. But it is sometimes hard to fit in the practicalities of the early nights, but it's the way it goes.
I'll teach you some good facial massage techniques that you can use in the morning to brighten your face up.
That sounds like a great idea. Oh, fantastic. So thank you very much for answering all the questions. Before we totally wind up, could you please let us know how people can get in touch with you, where they can find you, where they can follow you?
Yes, so I'm on both Instagram and Facebook, Facials by Stephanie. So that's kind of where I'm sort of pretty much am. So you can find me on there. I'm very active on my messages as well. You can message me directly through both Instagram and Facebook. All my details are on there. You can, direct message me through any of those platforms. So yeah, that's where I am, Instagram and Facebook.
Fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you so very much for your time today. It's been absolutely a huge wealth of knowledge that you shared with us today. It's been brilliant.
You know, it's been great. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And as a thank you to our listeners, Steph is offering a special discount for anybody who books within the next 30 days from when this podcast is published. The offer will be available until the 30th of June 2022. And that offer is that you can receive 10% off any facial treatment when you book online through the booking system, which is available through Steph's Instagram and Facebook pages. And to redeem the offer, you need to put the code BFFM22. That's BFFM, as in Business Foundations for Mums, 22. All bookings must not only be made, but also redeemed during the month of June. I hope you enjoy. Thank you for joining us here at Business Foundations for Mums. You can find all of our episodes, show notes and blog posts at businessfoundationsformums.co.uk, and you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook.